Welcome back. A bit of history behind the Ukrainian war. It never started on the 24th of February of 2022. It all started on the 2nd of May 2014 in, in a city called Odessa. There were people, civilians, gaining signatures for a constitutional referendum in Ukraine. All of a sudden, a group of thugs starts using violence against the population, hurting people, and the rest of the people fled into this building, which was of a Ukrainian trade union at that time. They were trapped inside. These thugs set this building alight, and those people were trying to flee out of this burning building. Some of them make it, more than 50 died. The rest were shot by these thugs. These thugs were armed in front of the presence of the Ukrainian police of that city. The police of that city never done nothing. They just stood there and they just saw this massacre permitting. These thugs are extreme right Ukrainian soccer hooligans from various football clubs, which they grew up as, let's say, here in Italy, ultras. And then in the future they become type of a militia like Hitler had, the SS. And they became a part of the Ukrainian military, known as the Azov Battalion. And their ideology is neo-Nazis. It's all documented. They have youth camps, all types of social structures which promote this type of ideology. And it was a Biden administration which funded this coup, this overthrow of this legitimate government at that time. And also they put in a puppet government. And it was funded by George Soros. And behind this thing was Victoria Nuland, which was currently in the Biden administration. And there was the son of Biden, Hunter Biden. For some reason, it was running this big company, Ukraine company, I think it was an energy company, receiving $50,000 a month. Got to emphasise, this bloke doesn't do nothing. Really, he's not professionally capable of nothing. He's just a junkie, a fucking pervert. And the day after this incident in Odessa, most of the Ukrainian press were cheering on these violent acts of these thugs, and throughout the years, it was installed a type of Western puppet government. The Ukrainian soldiers were trained by NATO, funded by the EC, and funded by Washington. So far, they've poured in 50 billion euros for them to kill the civilians in the Donbass. They are ethnic Russians, speaking Russians, but they're Ukraine anyway. And you've got these thugs from Kiev, from the west, killing more than 15,000 people in the last 8 years of the so-called civil war. No one in the West done nothing about it. It was only Putin which had concern. Putin went to the EC, went to the UN. There were observers of the UN reporting what's going on there. The UN and here Brussels never done nothing. In 2015, it was signed the Treaty of Minsk. Russia signed it. The current Ukrainian government of that time signed it. The EC and Americans. The Western part never respected it. There are 3 points which were violated of the Minsk Treaty. Ukraine must not join the EC, must not join NATO, must give these 4 ethnic Russian-speaking regions special autonomous powers for up to govern by themselves. No. Like I said, it started the killings in the Donbass and every single part of that eastern part of Ukraine in its 4 republics. And these neo-Nazi thugs in 2014 became officially a part of the Ukrainian military, known as the Azov Battalion, neo-Nazi ideology. They are a photocopy of Nazis. Then you got Zelensky coming in 2019, and the killings in the Donbass and those areas continued. There was a lot of Ukrainian journalists spoke out against this puppet regime. They disappeared, and even Ukrainian civilians who didn't follow the narrative of this puppet government, which was sponsored by Washington and Brussels, they still disappeared. They closed down opposition media, outlaw political parties' opposition, and dissidents were witch hunted. This is the true story of Ukraine. The war didn't start in February this year. It started 8 years ago. And the Ukraine regime, funded by the West, killed more than 15,000 Ukrainian civilians in the Donbass and other areas.